Yeah, I thought we had a really productive training camp. A lot of new faces, a lot of returning faces. So to take all those pieces and try to put them together to form a close football team was our main goal. Got a lot accomplished. Everybody seems to have bought into what we're trying to do. So we're excited about this great opportunity that's in front of us. Obviously, we all know how big the Orange Blossom Classic is. We know the last 2 years that game's decided the winner of the SWAC East. And so again, our players are really, really fired up about this week. To go up against a really good Jackson State football team that beat South Carolina State pretty handily this past weekend. So need a great week of preparation. It started yesterday. Obviously, we'll monitor the storm that's coming, and as a university, decide what's best for everyone involved. But hopefully, it'll pass with minimal damage, and we'll be able to play the game as scheduled and go from there.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. We'll now open the floor for questions for Coach Simmons. First question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everybody at FAMU are well. Can you just talk a little bit about the mentality going into this weekend? Obviously, three's a charm. This is the third installment, but why is this weekend's game so important? And if the storm, if it permits and you guys play, just talk about going in there and the legacy and the history of it.
Well, it's important for a lot of reasons. One, it's our next game, so old great Coach Coach Whitney over at Alcorn coined the phrase, every game's a big game because it's the next one we get to play. And so, we're appreciative of that opportunity. I'm thankful that football season is upon us. But beyond that, obviously, it's a conference game, it's a divisional game, and all of those things play a huge part in determining who represents this great conference in the SWAC championship game, and then ultimately the Cricket Celebration Bowl. So those are definitely two goals of ours, and this game will go a long way in determining that. So all those things combined are why this is a big game for us.
Next question goes to Kendrick Marshall.
Yeah, Coach, to follow up on that, how much pressure, if at all, is there to win this particular game? With the stakes you mentioned and just the position your football team is in, being the favorite going into the SWAC season this year?
Well, again, I think our guys understand the magnitude of the game. Whether you call that pressure or not, I'm not sure. For us, pressure can bust pipes, so it can make diamonds. And our job is to make sure that it doesn't overwhelm us and that it allows us to make diamonds, and that these guys play up to their full potential, that the game isn't too big for anybody involved from FAMU's side. And again, with a veteran group like we have, quarterback Musa, defensively, guys like Isaiah Major, General Hunt, Kendall Bowler that have been in the fight, that have played in this type of game, this magnitude, that for us is just another Sunday competition for us. And we got to go in and play our best. We'll play really well, not necessarily our best, but play really well. And just play one play at a time and not let the lights get too big for us. And that's hopefully the veteran leadership we have will allow our guys to do that.
Has there been any extra emphasis on this game because Jackson State has been the only team you guys have not beaten in the SWAC since you joined?
It's extra emphasis on the game because it's the next one we play. And we want to win them all, but you can't win them all unless you 1-0. So for us, it's about being 1-0 this week. That's our sole purpose. That's our sole goal, is to be 1-0 and to do the little things it takes to get there. And that's all we're talking about. It's not about who we play, where we play, the conditions in which we play under. Our biggest battle is ourselves and making sure that we lock ourselves in mentally to what we have to do.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Next question goes to Mason Smith.
Good morning, Coach Simmons. Hope everything's going well on your end. As you mentioned in your open, you probably got a chance to catch the SWAC Challenge. What did you see from your opponent in Jackson State, and how beneficial is it now to see, okay, they had a lot of new players come in, but now you've seen those players in action?
Well, I saw a well-coached team. I saw a team that plays hard. Saw an athletic team, and it's what you come to expect. Obviously, they lost some really good players, but they signed some really good players. T.C. Taylor's a great coach. He's been a part of the league for a long time. He played at Jackson, understands their history. So, again, I don't think anyone thought that they would drop off tremendously. Obviously, the people felt there would be a little bit of a drop off being that they picked us to win the East and them second. So But I think anyone with any football knowledge would assume that Jackson State would be a very formidable football team. We knew that going in, and just what we saw Saturday was confirmation of that.
Next question goes to Dr. Cavill.
This is Kenyatta Cavill. Dr. Cavill's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Coach, how's it going this morning?
It's going well. I was about to ask Charles, what's up with this new name I see on the screen here? I don't know if you're going through some type of identity crisis. I don't know what's going on, Doc. What's going on, man?
See, that's my first name, but for those that know me, they use my middle name. So you're actually right. You know me, so you're confused. It's a little trick I play every once in a while. But to get down to business, I wanted to ask you, because I see you have the blinders on and focus, particularly for your players understanding the importance of the next game, this game. But I wanted to ask you about the framework of the season and how things have changed. Your past coaching experience, this current experience with NIL, also the transfer portal. How has that changed your preparation to start out the year? Because you've had both situations where you've opened the season with the conference opponent.
Yeah, I think the college football landscape, obviously, we all see it's changing yearly, and I think one of the keys to success in any field is that you're able to adapt. And we pride ourselves on being able to do so. And so for us, how we recruit, what we do with our guys here, all those things have to be what we call best practices to make sure that we're placing our young men in the best positions to be successful. Fortunately for us, we haven't been hit hard by the transfer portal as far as losing guys. And we've done a really good job of bringing young men in through the portal. So, but it's ever changing. Realignment, NIL, all of the things that make college football what it is today. You have to be on the front end of it. A lot of older coaches are getting out of it because they see the direction the sport is headed in. But for me, I guess I'm still relatively young enough and have enough energy to adapt to the new way to interact with an 18 to 23-year-old. But coming out the gate playing a game like this, it seems like I've done it every year I've been in the SWAC. So it's just part of it.
Next question goes to Charles Bishop.
Hi, Coach. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Charles. See that big smile on your face.
Coach, I wanted to ask real quickly, what were the similarities or differences that you saw in this 2023 Jackson State football team?
Well, obviously the similarities, they're athletic. They play hard, and they made plays. They made the plays that came their way, and so that's obviously what you expect from a good football team. The difference, again, the sideline is different head coach, but they take on the personality of the head coach. So again, I think people looking to see what they would look like after Coach Prime left. Again, unless you were just down on Jackson, you had to assume that they were going to be a good football team. So again, there are a lot of things to take away from watching the game that you kind of go in expecting. And I didn't think there would be a huge drop off as far as production. And it's been a hard-fought battle. Well, one of the 2 years, last year wasn't. But we've arguably been the two best teams in the conference over the last 2 years. And I think this year's edition will be about the same. I think we're two of the top teams in the conference. And there's two Giants going toe-to-toe game one.
Last question goes to Kyle Mosley.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Kyle.
Good, good. All right, going into this game and watching Jackson State, do you think facing that defense, you guys would need to change anything or modify your approach offensively?
No, I mean we'll do what we do offensively. It's a game, a test of wills, which I make the analogy all the time with our team about boxing. You got two fighters with very distinct styles that train for months for a big prize fight, and when they get into the ring, it's the fighter who's able to stick to his training and his style of fighting that probably has the best chance to be successful. And so for us, I think it will be the same. We both have identities. We both have things we want to do in all phases. So the team that's able to do what we do best and not have to change too much, I think will be the team that has the best chance. Obviously, you'll make adjustments throughout the game But if you go in saying you want a heavy emphasis on the run, and you get in and you can't run it, probably going to be a long day. You go in saying that you want to pressure the quarterback, and you find out after a couple of quarters that you can't get after the quarterback, you're probably going to have a long day. So for us, we'll have a game plan that will be based around our personnel and our identity as a football team. And as long as we're able to stick to that plan, I think we'll be just fine.